And it's Gordo here from Gordo's Games, and I'm bringing you some more Digimon TCG content. So today I'm going to bring you a deck profile. So it's one I've been tweaking around a bit, and I will just outright say I lay no claim to this deck at all in any shape or form. It is based on the foundations of Fenton, Alex Mendoza, and Lyjikin. These are some of the people that really took it to, obviously got it recognised. I've just decided to trial my little take on it, or my aspect of it, or the parts that I think work best. So I'm gonna stop blathering. But if you do enjoy the content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications. You know when this content goes live for you. And if you have any suggestions you think would work best in the deck, or anything you want to talk about, hit me up in the comments. Let's get into it. Alrighty then. So we're gonna start off with the eggs here. As normal, we play 5. Black's not the quickest, so it's not like we can only get away with 4. You need to be having 5. So run 4 Corporeamon. Reboot, we do play the Melga in this list, so comes up quite often. We do play a Toyagu, so that can come up as well. And the off chance, we do run one of the 1000 blockers, because we do have blockers in this. We run the Mega Digimon, so we give our level 6 blockers, so it can come up. And Black doesn't really have the biggest choices of eggs, to be honest. Rookies, we run 13. One of the main ones itself, Toyagu. It can come up quite a lot. I used to think it got to the point where it's quite redundant. Obviously, you have the Melbourne that's like, why do I care about this? But getting this underneath things like a Blitzgreymon, a Blastmon, Hyandramon, with a Megadramon up there, swing, doesn't die, blocker on the next turn, adds so much value to it. Such a good card. Hands down one of Black's best rookies. It just felt like it was getting more redundant with the amount of reboot stuff, but then after trial and reboot decks and that, going pure reboot is not the way. We run a 2 of the promo. Once again, something I was skeptical about, but it can come off, and it does allow you to apply a bit of aggression with the deck. So yeah, if you've got while the Digimon is black and has 13,000 DP or more, the Digimon gains secure attack +1. So Hyandramon can get there pretty easily. Mel can get there with a little bit of work. Tends to be the case of Gogma, Digiburst 1, and then go up into the Melga, hopefully not passing turn, and then Digiburst 2 away along with that, and then you're sat there at least at 13. You have to Digiburst the Gogma away, unfortunately, keep the Sunariza, which I don't like doing if you're playing like a Black Mirror, because of them de-Digivolving and having the rookie still there. But against other matchups, it's not so bad, because then you can apply some aggression and be at least 13k. We run 2 of the Digiburst Sunariza, the Digiburst it, and it goes back to your hand. Nice, because if you don't see the rookies that often, you can just keep recycling this one quite easily. We run 2 of the Toyagu. Draw power can come off. It tends to be a case if your opponent, best case scenario, your opponent bricks. You've got something to raise them very quickly. Rush it out. Even if it's just to get an extra bit of draw. I know they could probably just pop the next turn with something, or they'll do something to try and rid it off the board. But if you can get an extra draw off this, it puts a lot of work in. A lot of work. Okay. Last one, well, certainly least, even though this, we're only running 3 Commandramon. Commandramon does a lot of work. I got to the point of thinking, because there's so many tamies in that, whereas you didn't need it, but it is nice to be able to just throw one of these down, put a blocker on it top to pass turn, or anything of the sort. It's just a nice little way to memory choke, or potentially just get an added body on there without passing turn over, because you haven't seen your tamer as well. So 13. Level 4s, we run 11. Pretty straightforward line, not much to go through. 4 Dark Tyrannomon, 1 cost blocker, helps with that kind of turbo aspect, just to go past the level 4. Same principle for this next one. We run 4 tank. Once again, it's 8 1 cost evos there, so you're likely to be able to cycle up to your level 5 very quickly. And to sort out the matchups against things like Shoutmon, Nidhogg, Alter S and things like that, anything that kills the 5k or lower. Digimon, 6k body. Obviously, I've looked at the shades, and I don't agree with the shades on the basis that it's 5k and it can't attack. And I've had games where me being able to attack has paid off for me. So just go into that. And then we've got Mechinori as a 1. Does what it needs to do. It's 4 cost. It's basically Numemon, so realistically, it's just a good all-round thing to throw down. Okay, moving on to level 5s. We've got 9 here. So we run 4 Gogmas. Gogmon MVP. Hands down, does some of the best work in the deck. Has a lot of synergy with a lot of different things. Being able to buff himself, buff others. Being able to swing over most level 6s by digibursting his full stack can make him a threat constantly. So a really good card. 3 Waru, keeping the turbo aspect going. I'd have 4 if I could, I just don't have the space of it because I like to have other tech pieces. But yeah, 2 cost evo, 5 cost of drops, allows you to just kind of excel on the board. If you have to throw this down turn 1 and then go into like something like a Blastmon, be quite aggressive just because, yeah, 13k security attack +1. Sure, it can be blocked, but they have to give up their board presence. And last but certainly not least, Megadramon. This with the reboot to Agumon and then anything level 6 on top of it is great. Just being able to give it blocker and restand puts in some good work. So we run 9 level 5s. Right, going to level 6s. And this is where I try to I want to be able to fit more in, but I can't. So we run 3 Melga. I had 4 originally. I would happily go back to 4, but I wanted to try some of the tech pieces because something kept happening. I used to keep seeing one thing particularly in hand, so I'm trying to give up some more options and more text. We run 2 Hanjo. I was going to cut this down to 1 to make 4 for this one, but once again, 2 cost of Evo can really save turns sometimes. Being able to go into this and then go into a Zwart Defeat, get rid of their Tamer and choke them, great play. Or even be able to just go into this to go into to keep turns, to be able to swing over their body, then go into a defeat just so they can't then swing back over you. All good stuff. We run a one-off Blastmon. I've looked at loads. I've looked at the list, and I would happily try and play more Blastmon. But I feel like if you just get paired up against purple, you're in for a rough day. I know they don't play as much retaliation, but loads of people play Zwart Defeats. So making a Zwart Defeat a blocker against me isn't the most practical, but if they do things like that, you just kind of digivolve on top of it. So I run this as a one-of. It's really there for the fact of, if you're playing against a Lord Knight, they don't often have mass amounts of bodies on board really early. They'll have a Lord Knight and then maybe 1 modern body, then they'll spring, they'll get another body, so they're at 13k. So they do like to blast one really early, which is quite nice, you know. We're praying for the sack there, but at the same time, if you're playing against anything else but purple, this card puts in so much pressure. It's like, okay, I've got to deal with that, and especially if you give it reboot and blocker. Yeah, that's the force to be reckoned with. A last tech piece for level 6 is 1 Blitzgreymon. This was something from Benson's list that I saw. I really took it out because I had an added Melga in there, but I put it back in purely because I keep seeing antibodies in hand, and I do like the idea of potentially just putting it straight on this as another way to do it. I can't warrant any more than 1 because sometimes it does not come up at all. And also, it can catch out those yellow players that get a bit too greedy with a War Grouse like Digiburst to leave the egg because they want the Pikmin to go off. Okay, we'll kill it basically. So we run 2, 3, 7 level 6s. Moving on to the big pieces, we run 4 Zwart Defeats. I know it might seem a bit excessive. I did have an Alteress in here before. I do kind of miss it, but at the same time, I'm trying to maximise the amount of times this could potentially come up and change games. Because if the more chances it's insecurity, the more the game can be swayed. Because if I'm building up and just getting things like Melgrat, if this hits some security, yes, it's not killing the Tamer, but it's something they have to deal with. Otherwise, I'm just going to crash into their big body and potentially take something else out whilst crashing. There's just so many different things with it, or you just go into one of these for 3 costs, and if you establish one of these against an opponent and they haven't got the removal in hand and they've got bodies on board, yeah, you start just chipping away their bodies on board whilst doing the rest of it. Attack into a suspended one, then attack into and then delete the other one. Just puts in a lot of value, but sometimes, quite often, I've had it where I've got this in hand, none of these, and I've just got nothing to go off. Hence the reason for the one of Blitzgreymon, because it can come up. And Blitzgreymon's a 12k body, so if they hit it in security, you know, it's taking some people with them. So we run 6 level 7s. Really, this is where the flex part is within Black Toolbox. I've tried both variants, the one with the Millenniums, the Ultra S, the Zwarts and all that, and it really is down to personal preference of how you play the game as to what suits you best. If you feel like you want more answers, tools and everything like that, Toolbox one with the different variations is probably a good way. If you feel like you want to just you want a form of aggression or some responses, this one tends to do a good all-around job. I will say from playing when I played the Toolbox one, the MVP on that one was the Armageddon. That came up so often, shutting down Zwart defeats and that. So it was quite interesting in the mirrors. We run 2 Izzies. Izzy, just great. You want to get a team, and if you're at 0, it can take turn back from that. That's another little sneaky thing. Is Rookie can catch Rookie Rush out, and then we have 2 Ultimate Flares. Ultimate Flare, I hate this card, but at the same time, I can love it sometimes. It's just like, it's purple, it's such a waste because every purple player tends to play Black War Ground one these days, and it's like, okay, you over to nothing. Oh no, sorry, they've got no stacks. I don't do anything. So it's a really 50-50 card, but then in other matchups it can really pay off. Rookie Rush, obviously, this is the dream card, but I don't think I've seen a Rookie Rush game where this was in security. I'll be honest. So that is the list. That's where we stand with it. If you do like the deck, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications so you know when this content goes live for you. For myself here, Gordo's Games, let's get digital, let's get going. Catch you all later.